All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Peyton Pilgrim, the Next Wave analyst, here with another top-down weekly analysis. We are starting on the fundamentals as usual, and it doesn't look like we have too crazy of a week until we get into Thursday, in my opinion. GDP for USD, they're expecting negative GDP. So, that is probably going to be the biggest mover this week. I don't think anything else is really that big of or anything to really worry about too much. I don't want to spend too much time on the fundamentals. This right here is going to be big. So, they have printed negative quarter over quarter over quarter over, or not quarter over quarter, but month over month over month. And let's see how many months in a row it's been negative. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be the fifth month of negative. If they get two consecutive quarters, so this would be 1, 2, 3. This would be one quarter. They need two more of these in it. We're textbook recession. So I think that's going to happen. If not, I mean, either way, things are looking bad. They're expecting it to be bad. They're expecting it to be negative better than last time, but still negative is negative. You don't want negative GDP. All right. So that's pretty much the only mover in that I'm personally seeing in the fundamentals. So let's go into the technicals now. I think we're going to have a good opportunity in the technicals. All right, so we should be able to see the charts now. And then the dollar really last week, I mean, it just had an amazing week. So it slammed through these last 1, 2, 3 weeks, really 4 weeks in bullish engulfing candle. The volume isn't as high as I would have liked it to be, but we are pretty much expecting this to eventually turn around and be a corrective move. But yeah, a huge bullish engulfing candle on the daily or on the weekly is really making the probabilities of any sell this week a little bit hard, a little bit hard. And then another thing to notice is the full year point of control is up here now. And so that's something that hasn't that wasn't there last week. So that means a lot of volume came up here, and that's a yearly point of control. So that's not something you see every day, very close to price. Okay, so let's go down to the daily, and you can see pretty much that. Let's see, where did I mark that yearly point of control off? Was it right here? And it was just in white. Yeah. Okay, so that is a very important price that we're going to monitor this week. But right now, we've been calling this level out for a minute. We've been in this bullish trend, but when we made this move down, we expected price to come back into here and then possibly react. So we could see this happen to the downside for the dollar, but it's not confirmed yet, in my opinion. I'm going to have to go down to the lower time frames to see, but you can definitely see that there is somewhat of a supply area. The dollar dropped off pretty hard right here, and so I am expecting a reaction. It's just how much of a reaction, or are we going to go up here first before ultimately making the reaction? So going on to the 4-hour, what I want to see before I really decide that this is getting ready to roll is I wanted to see this diverge, but instead it converged. So the market made higher highs, and so did the MACD. And that's a sign to me that even if this pulls back into this level, that we probably have one more wave up to the upside, just because we haven't gotten that completion of the divergence yet. So yes, I would love, love, love to see the dollar fall right here. I just don't see enough divergence. Now, on the 1 hour, there is this divergence here, which is perfect. It's probably going to give that move down, and then we're going to see another move up, exactly like what I'm talking about on the 4 hour. So what we could look at possibly on an intraday level, because I'm not super convinced that the dollar is going to fall from these supply levels, just based off the weekly candle. And then we have this yearly POC sitting right here. So price could even come down a little bit lower. I would expect it to hold above here and then make a move up. If it doesn't, because it doesn't matter, if it doesn't do that and we just start to see this thing drop, well, now we know it's below the yearly point of control, and everything else we should look for sells. But since we're above it, we should be looking for buys. All right, so basically this week I'm going to be trying to sell off of this area. Okay, I'm going to be trying to sell off of this supply area, but I might have to even go into like the 15-minute time frame to really find this break of structure. So if there is a shift like this, then that will give an optimal entry for something, more playable than just, I don't know, selling right here and hoping it drops. If it could do this, then, we have a really good direction of where the market could go. Until it gets here, then, we might have to watch out for something like this. All right. So that's how I'm playing the dollar. Let's get into the euro. And pardon me, I've been doing it like this for a minute. So let's continue. Actually, I don't think it records very well when I do that. So I'll stay like this. Okay. On the weekly, it's the exact opposite, right? We have a big bearish engulfing candle that almost took out everything. And I'm not really, I just don't see the best buying opportunity, even though it is in an area to buy from. It's just not probable. Okay, the probability is extremely low at this point. Okay, we have this downtrend channel, and these candles are just popping out to the downside. So to me, I'm gonna pretty much even erase this, because I'm not playing the buys. If I'm gonna play the buys, I'm gonna wait for the daily divergence to really occur, which would mean I would need to wait for 0.9759, basically 0.7976. And so this is going to be my divergence fib entry. If it can get down there, I'll be interested in that. So on the 4 hour is where that divergence fib is going to show up. And that's a long ways away, family. So what would need to happen for that divergence fib to be accurate is there would need to be other time frames that line up with that divergence. So right now, 4 hour, yes. So that means if we get a pullback and another move down, if this pulls back and gives another move down, we have 3 waves. We need it to come all the way down here for that daily divergence. So there's a lot to go. There's going to be a lot of price action in between it. I'm honestly not even worried about this daily divergence yet. Not even close. Some people are playing, and we were looking at this earlier in the week or last week, but I'm just not interested in it anymore. It's already past this level. If it can impulse in kind of boom, then I'll play it. I will. But at this point, I'm not interested. There is this divergence here. So that is a opportunity. And like I said, if it pops, I might play it. I might. But yeah, ultimately these guys are probably going to continue lower and not give us too many great opportunities. If it continues up like this, one or two things could happen. It could do this, or it could do this, because this is another strong level. So it's kind of in a weird spot this week. I'm not loving it. I'm going to continue to look at the other markets. The pound is very similar. I'm not going to look for buys right here anymore, just because the momentum is stronger to the downside than it was anywhere to the upside. So this is a new shift in momentum to the downside. And this is a failed swing. So we had this move happen. We failed to make new highs, and now we are making new lows. And I expect this to just probably continue because there's um, nothing else telling me it won't continue. It's got the new momentum low, so any pullback longer term should eventually end up in at least equaling that low. I'm sure there's divergence right now because it hasn't pulled back at all. So maybe something to watch for, some sketchy move like this for the correction, maybe. But other than that, there's nothing to really analyze. They're just dropping, dropping, dropping. And if they're going to turn around, they're either going to make a manipulative move or they're going to manipulation move, and that's an opportunity, or they're just going to make a big impulse, and that's an opportunity. Other than that, there's nothing to analyze. Okay. Just because it's this low doesn't mean you should buy it. It's probably going to get taken out. If it does, you have to reassess everything, right? If this gets broken to the upside somehow, we're definitely buyers. Pound, it's the same thing. Aussie, it's a little different because it has been a little stronger. So I will say that the Australian dollar looks the strongest out of all of them. But last weekly candle is just no thank you with higher volume. So we're not going to look for the bulls here anymore. It's not how we're going to play it, and we're going to look for the bears. Now we can keep this area here possibly for the bulls, but it just looks like the bears took control right here at this 78.6 and slapped it down. So let's go into the daily to see what this looks like. And yeah, complete stop hunt move right here. Stop hunt and then redirect. So if we can get this head and shoulders pattern right here, that'd be perfect. That'd be absolutely perfect. So here to here. Somewhere in there, and that's the trade of the week. Possibly, unless this thing actually holds right here at this blue area. So if price comes down a little bit more, it's out of all of the GBP, EU, and AU, out of all of them, this one has the best chance, in my opinion, to actually hold here and go up. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess, because if the dollar eventually, if the dollar does do this kind of, then this bad boy is really gonna like take off. So it could happen, but I genuinely don't know if the dollar is gonna stop right here. I think it's just gonna, and then that would mean for AU, that would just mean so. We'll see what happens. It's an opportunity, and I don't want to not play an opportunity just because I think something is going to happen, because that's when you're usually way wrong. Okay, it looks like there's too many fibs and stuff on here, so let's delete that. Last week was a bearish week. It didn't have a lot of volume. Nope, not a lot of volume. It did hit this interesting fib level and then just rejected super hard. So that is something I'm watching. The way it rejected was kind of slowly, and the volume was very dry on that drop. So they might be testing to see if there's any resistance in this drop. I think the smartest play would be to play the head and shoulders, just because it's right in your face and you can't not play that. So yeah, that's a money shot right there if it can get there. If not, it might do this and then that would be a little annoying. But it's still worth a shot right here. And then I know even this might even be worth a shot the other way around. We're like right at that. If it pops off it could pop off easily. So the Swiss franc might be a good opportunity to look at. Yeah, Blake, my opinion with the Head and Shoulders is that if you're gonna trade it from the right shoulder, then yeah, it needs to have at least a 61.8 retracement on that shoulder. So that's how I play it, but I'm more of a objective type person than subjective. I like to have more rule based than not, but you know how trading is. On the weekly time frame on the yen, it does look like it's going to continue down, even though this is an area I would really like to see this hold. Okay, even but it's below the old all-time highs. There's no reason for me to look for this bullish move anymore, honestly. So I would say the only thing I see is this harmonic pattern. And I don't even remember what they're called, but it just looks like one of those. And the volume here is quite low as price is dropping. So that is a little alarming. That's kind of weird. That means this drop isn't true. So is it an opportunity? Yes. What would I need to see for me to believe that this is going to go up, which would send all of the JPY pairs down? Okay. This is what I'm looking to happen this week. If this goes up, JPY pairs go down. And ultimately, what all would need to happen would be a three candlestick pattern would be better. So let's say this closes here, the next one closes like this, and then the next one closes like this. If we can get that, I'm going to expect this to break out. Other than that, gotta wait. Gots to wait. And that's a little too much to. Okay. Goldilocks. So gold was a great swing from last week if you got on either of our analysis. Okay. Right off the 702, if you played it from here, it's hit the 78.6. So it doesn't matter. Regardless, it was a good swing and it's still playing out, still dropping. It's getting kind of tired of dropping, I think, but it's still playing out. The only area I'm looking for buys are right here on a more of a long term. Okay, 4 hour. Here's that buying opportunity, and you can see it's just started to slide now. There's not much action there. There's not much you can do except maybe try to catch some divergence as it is extremely diverged. But I would just maybe watch out. Maybe wait for it to kind of break this trend and see if you can catch a bullish move, because I'm not liking the way gold's looking yet. Silver is a confirmation for me, and silver is in a interesting spot. So silver is in the buy zone. Gold is not at all yet. Interesting. Okay, well, what I'll be doing is I'll be watching silver, and if it makes an impulsive move, then gold's most likely going to. Oil, something I don't trade a lot, but I like to observe it. And this area is almost getting hit, almost getting rejected at the top of the channel. It's probably going to and then fall, but there's nothing to really read off of that other than it's in a bearish correction. Definitely in a bearish correction. So until it kind of gets out of this, I don't see much. Next pair. VIX, I can only look at the day, but guess what, guys? Remember the day that I was like, what's going on with the VIX? What's going on with the VIX? This is actually happening. And the VIX is actually popping exactly how I planned it to pop. Okay, How many times have I gone over the M that barely breaks the neckline and then it pops? I've done it so many times. I've gone over it ridiculously amounts. It does it over and over here. You can just go back in time and see the M that breaks and then pops, M that breaks and pops, M that breaks and pops over and over and over and over and again. We just seen this happen, and now we're getting high volume spikes as well with the move out. So I personally think this might be the opportunity that everything makes a new low. The indices make a new low, Bitcoin makes a new low, Ethereum might not, but that's another story we'll get into. Um, Everything goes lower because when this thing ramps up, everything does go lower. All right. So this is an opportunity that I'm going to be looking for on the lower time frame. So let's go here and let's go into the 1 hour. And this is kind of how it looks like on another broker, but you can see the impulse and it came back into the 78.6 and then has moved out. So this is, in my opinion, getting ready to make a big move. And if it does, guys, get ready for the indices to tank big time. I'm talking really, really, really tank. And, we are already in this zone that we've been waiting for since June 13th. Okay, we've had this zone marked off for a long time. Prices finally come back into it and reacted. That doesn't mean it's going to fall, but they all did the same thing. And the NASDAQ is a little slow to the party, but the Dow is a little above average of the party. Okay, so we got a lot of price action to look at. I would think that if we're going to sell one of them, it needs to probably be the S&P or the Dow because they've had the best reaction off the 78.6. The NASDAQ seems like it could still go up a little bit more. So I'm going to look at the S&P first. This is a very bullish move. So for me, in order for me to probably sell the S&P, it needs to kind of come down a little bit, come back up and form this divergence. Sorry. Because right now it looks like it's just going to continue up. NASDAQ is the same thing, higher highs and higher lows. Wow, you guys French trapped. Yeah, Dow Jones doing the same thing. So this week I will be looking for sells on them, but they could still make one more higher high just to complete that divergence. But I'm gonna go ahead and look for sells, and if I'm wrong, then that's fine. And like I said, most likely the Dow will be the one I'm looking at, and this looks like the best opportunity that I can find. So let's roll with this one. Ooh. Bringing it right back into that, whatever price that was marked off. But that looks like a good setup to me. I think they all kind of have that play to them, so they might all, it might be necessary to look at them all. Like in this regard. Yeah, they all are just picture perfect. So whichever one gets there with the best pullback wins. Yeah, that's a good setup on these indices, guys. For real, this is a really good setup. be 100% okay with putting a limit order up here, making sure your risk to reward, I mean, your risk is set to 0.5% or 1%. Don't do more than that. You don't need to. You can seriously make 6% on this trade. Look, limit order 1%, 6% if you hold the whole thing. What Blake is talking about is this right here, the imbalance all the way down here that needs to get filled in by your TP. So that's just perfect. And they're on all of them. And this is even lower. So good eye, Blake. Good eye. I agree 110%. Let's try to catch a bag on that one this week. I do check out the bonds recently and see how they're looking. Interesting. This is right in that spot that I drew. Okay, if this starts to move down, I'm not sure what that's going to do, but I've been analyzing the bond market a little bit more recently, and I haven't done a whole lot of comparisons with it yet. So I will. So bear with me. I just needed to look at that. Okay, Bitcoin and what can we say about Bitcoin? First of all, let's look at this weird ass chart because it is weird. The moon phases, and we'll look at it on the 4-hour like I've had it. And I don't know, I just don't get it, but it's like every full moon, it almost is a bottom. And then every new moon, it's almost a top. And it's like, this is the last time I spoke about this. Okay, this happened. You know, we had this big dump, and then this happened. And we had a full moon. And I came on the Telegram and I said what I said about how weird it is, how these have been correlating so much, like really weirdly. And so this is what has happened after that since. Okay, we had a new moon, and basically after the new moon, we put in a top and the market fell pretty sharp. After that, we got a full moon, and full moons have basically been bottoms or forms of consolidation. So we get a bottom, and not a technical bottom, but we get a form of consolidation, definitely. Now, within that, there was another new moon, which more or less didn't work out, but still kind of called a sort of an end of a consolidation. And there was a move. Now, this one wasn't the best play, but then you get another one right here, bada boom, end of it, full moon, bottom. It's like, yeah, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn close. Then here we top out at the new moon. That one was damn near perfect. Now we have a full moon here, and this was supposed to be a bottoming situation, but we are failing epically. So this is a failed full moon type pattern. And the next full moon is somewhere, let's see, the next full moon or the next new moon, which is supposed to be a top, which, I mean, the top's already in my opinion, is August 27th. So somewhere around here is the next new moon, and all the new moons are this color. And so what I'm guessing, what could happen, let's just analyze Bitcoin now. We have this impulsive move, and it in recent time right here since June, you know, every time it has kind of made a fast drop, it has recovered, a fast drop, it has recovered. Okay, now we're getting kind of another fast drop. Is it going to recover? Very possible. But the way I play things is whenever I see a shift in not even just structure, but trend and momentum. Here's momentum. Okay, big momentum shifting, completely breaking through all these other momentums. That's when I look for the market to continue in that direction, right? We do have good volume as well right here. So what I'm looking for is Bitcoin to pull all the way back into this level. Now, it might not, it might just pull into right here, which, you know, at the time, depending on how the trades have gone through the week and where my mindset's at, I might take this one as well and put my stop loss at here. And if I lose that, then I'll try again. But regardless, I think we're gonna get a pullback, right? And if the new moon is coming in, let's see, what do I got on this chart? The 27th. So let's mark that off. And you know, this isn't what I do. I'm not an astrologer type person, and that'll be over the weekend. So here's like a 26th. If we get a pullback kind of up to here, and then we get one of these new moons that come in, I mean, are we bearish or bullish? You know what I'm saying? Because all the other new moons have been bearish. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, we might want to evaluate that for a second and think about how, you know, this could easily play out. And then hear me out, because this is getting a little astrology weird, but hear me out because it's lining up with my technicals as well. Okay, so we get these, and I'm just going to delete the fib. We get this move up, and we get also a new moon, which calls a top technically, or has called tops in the recent kind of freaking past. Weirdly. Okay, so we're gonna get another one coming up soon, on right here to be exact, and then Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does start to pull back, that could be a perfect lineup, astrology and Fibonacci. Now the next full moon, so now we're looking for when is the bottom going to come in after that, is September 10th. I believe, and that's what Google fucking said. So, so what would this look like, right? If we get a move like this down again, but then say it does what people think it could do, and it starts to liquidate people, we have all the way till then. What if it liquidates people like Bitcoin can do? So let's go look at a move that Bitcoin has done before in a liquidation event to see if it's even possible. Okay, so the timing and the price is what we're looking at. So let's bring out timing and price, date and price. And you want to go to your logarithmic charts when you do this. So technically, if we're going from the new moon to the full moon, and we're going all the way down here, that would be something like a, you know, 15K Bitcoin, scared the shit out of everybody, 40% drop in 16 days. Have we seen that before? So let's go look in the past. What was this move here? Okay, less time, almost the same thing, right? So yes, possible. There's one scenario that's possible. Is it possible here? Yes, very possible. Okay, and it could call the, you know, the new moon would call, or the full moon would be called here. And let's settings this up, border black, like this yellow. Oh, that's the border. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, So like this would be the full moon, and it's definitely a possibility that that could play out there too. Let's see, where's another liquidation event? I mean, there's two right in front of our face that's already happened with what's this percentage drop? 24, not enough. Regardless, guys, it's already happened. It's been happened. The momentum is there for it to happen again. I genuinely think that this weird astrology shit is about to play out, and I will be watching it because yeah, it's looking a little, it's lining up a little too good with what my thesis is as well. So when I go to the daily time frame, this is how I am trying to line up my bottom on Bitcoin. Okay, so I guess I don't need these. I got these freaking pre-charted on my shit now. What I have been saying on Bitcoin is it needs to create the divergence on the daily if I'm even interested at all. Ultimately, I would love to see the divergence on the weekly, but I don't think it's going to get, I don't think it's going to get there. So the daily divergence is really going to be my play. And you can see right here, this is where the momentum would need to get to. Pull up that horizontal volume. Got you. So look right here, rejection. It said no, thank you. It said no, thank you. I am not interested in of this. And it said just no. And the other side of that would have been see ya, straight to 30K. The other side of that would have been just okay, but nope, they rejected that. And that's telling me that this is ultimately ready to come down again. With the amount of volume that's picking up too on this drop, I mean, high volume, higher volume, higher volume. That is, you don't see it all the time with price continuing down. So I'm thinking we're probably coming down into, let's be honest, these levels down in here. And let's take the moons off. What the fuck? Okay. We'll keep those on because they're funny. Because I'm going to call those out perfectly. But y'all see how what the volume looked like right here? Look what happens if we break 18K. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that if we break 18K right here, that there is genuinely no orders at all holding price until it gets all the way down to 12K? Yes, it will be. It will be that. And we've been talking about this because it is just, dude, think about, I bet you anything, all these dumbass fucking institutions, these dumbass fucking hedge funds over levered again on this, thinking this was the run, thinking, oh, it's not going to make another lower low. Ruining their lives. So there's going to be another liquidation event. It just takes a lot longer than people think, guys. Things take time in this market. That's the one reason why people don't win at all. It's because things take longer than expected. And look, like right now, this could even take longer than expected. This thing could have one more move up somehow and then do what I want it to do, right? But ultimately, I'm playing the bears, hardcore bearish on these guys. And so if you can find a position any way you can find it, I think it's good for the week. That's going to be funny. I'm going to have to put these on only the 4 hour real quick. Because I'll keep them on. That'll be funny. Yeah, I think the best position is going to be somewhere up here. Let me bring in some volume. Yeah, more like up here would be better, but that's a long time to wait. So it might be even worth trying to find some type of bullish move. You can see the Wyckoff starting to play out here. So don't be shocked to see this kind of come up, maybe down. If it makes a sharp move down, that might be a good position for a buy. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. So if I was to play divergence fib, it would be close to this right here. So that price right there, if we get a spike on that and then instantly moves back, kind of confirms that I'm right, and it's going to continue up and then probably do that because this area right here imbalanced and there's nothing holding price back right here. Let's bring in some more price. You can see it, nothing holding price right there. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. Ethereum, you know, I'm glad I took profits where I did on my bag. I was a little worried at first because, you know, I took some out around here and then I took another portion out right here. And then it started to go to 20 and I was like, oh shit. But ultimately it's prevailing. Let's go to the 4-hour to see what we're looking at, and maybe the weekly even, just to look at that candle. Yeah, this is death. So daily is death, 4-hour is dying, breaking structures, coming out of this reversal pattern. The one thing I'll say about Ethereum is it was so much stronger than Bitcoin that I have to look for buys down here in my wallet. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I don't care if there's a big liquidation event. The amount of strength that Ethereum showed versus Bitcoin, I'm gonna put some money in when it gets down here on my Coinbase wallet. Now, for this move, this is just, I need to adjust this right here. And then this is still a great opportunity on Ethereum. If it can come up here, all the way up here, I'm gonna look to bring it all the way back down in here. And it looks perfect to me, honestly. So watch out for Ethereum sells this week. Is that it? Is that it? Does anyone have any other pairs they want me to look at? One thing I do want to look at to confirm all this stuff with Bitcoin is something we've been looking at, is the market cap of Tether dominance. So whenever this thing goes up, Bitcoin goes down, basically. And right now, I can redraw everything. Right now, it just put in a bullish engulfing candle. Okay, and that means very bearish for Bitcoin. Because if this thing starts to ramp up again, we're going to see Bitcoin really fall fast. So when we go to the daily, this is what I'm really kind of worried about. And, you know, not worried about, but for Bitcoin's sake, we are right at the 61.8, impulsing off of it off the daily. This level was a super strong level, and we came in and just held it and respected it too perfectly. So I'm gonna have to, you know, look for this structure here. Since it broke, I'm gonna have to look for a move similar like this, and then another move up. And what that would entail this right here. Okay, so we get a move down and then a move up. What does that do to Bitcoin? For Bitcoin, that gives it a move up and then a move down. It lines up perfectly with the fucking moon cycles and shit. It's weird. Ethereum, it gives it a move up and then a move down perfectly. So what happens when it does that though? Okay, what happens if it does that? Now that the Tether market cap is up here, is this a spot that it's going to hold at and then, you know, reverse to the downside? or is this going to make another move up to the upside? In my opinion, we are probably going to really see another move above this based off of the convergence in the MACD. So we had a big wave, a retracement, another big wave, and it was even bigger. Usually that second wave, that's when you get that divergence look, but right here you don't. So now I'm thinking there has to be another wave up that just doesn't make the cut when it comes to the divergence. It just doesn't make it. And that's going to be the bottom of the crypto market whenever the market cap of USDT dominance is at 10% ish. That's going to be the very bottom. Bitcoin's going to be at fucking 5 or 10K. Ethereum's going to be at scary prices, but I don't know that 100% for sure. I think it could definitely still has a chance to stop here. And that would basically bring Bitcoin into, okay, down these bottom levels right here, and maybe just give one more little spring, and that's all it needs. Okay, so it doesn't have to go to these crazy levels. I would just prefer it, honestly. But that's just how I line up that with that. And then the market cap, the total market cap is sitting right at a very interesting area to where, I mean, some people would think this is kind of bullish. You know, the way that this came down to me isn't very bullish, but it could give a slow climb right here, and there's nothing wrong with that, and we would be bullish, right? So that very well could happen. It's not, I don't see this happening, you know, not at all. It's more like this, and we're in this thing. I mean, hey, I still think this is opportunity though too. So we'll see. Some of the crypto market, or all the crypto markets, down right now. There's no reason to really look at any of them specifically. I think some of the meme stocks did actually do kind of well. They might start performing well, weirdly. Yeah, Matic was one of them that was a leader, and we're getting just a complete reversal pattern signals. So that's kind of another sign that the top is probably in. Link was leading for a little bit, and yeah, completely just turning around. Uniswap had a good run, and it could still hold here. So I don't want to say anything bad about that. Flow is still in an interesting spot. Yeah, but that's about it for me, guys. If y'all don't have any more questions, what is this? Oh, if y'all don't have any more questions, probably gonna hop off. I'm gonna get up early tomorrow and maybe do some live trading, or probably for the premium group, 100% live trading, and see if we can't catch some pips. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Just let me just do a quick brief look at what's going on. Okay, these did pop off of this. Wow. I had alerts set like crazy for this to pop off. So is the dollar dropping? Yes. Okay, so watch for this to happen tonight. Dang it, I don't want to stay up forever. Okay, yeah, the dollar might actually react off of this zone. So if it does, you want to play the retracement, and it might be already like tonight type shit. Like, gotta play it. GU's not moving. AU is another opportunity, but I think EU looks the best so far. But I mean, if this pulled back, I think it's okay. I don't trade NU, but it looks good. USHEF is bearish. If this thing can break here and then break here, whoa, that will be the best pullback trade. Nothing, 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 nothing. I already talked about that. So, okay, I'm not really seeing much right there. Let me go to the Forex pairs and just do it a little bit faster. We looked at that. We looked at that. 5 minute. Let's go to 15 minute. This looks like it is getting ready to either go up or down. Huh? Okay, next. I don't like that one. This one didn't work out right there. Pound is being weird though, so let's not look at that. GCAD, ooh, bearish is a mess. No reason to look at that. G-Chef missed out on this opportunity last week. Still bearish, still not paying attention to it unless some of these currencies flip reverse on the dime. GA is in an interesting spot actually. Let me look at this. Yeah, GA is in an interesting spot. I wouldn't be opposed to buying it because of the three-wave divergence. So I like GA. I'm going to put an alert here. Okay, alert me, bitch. I've already looked at these guys, these guys. These guys are the ones we want to look at. So if the yen does make it back above its all-time high, these are going to drop, but are they really? So this still has a little bit more to go up if it wants to get into its swing area. But it doesn't look bad at all. 4 hour looks just a little choppy. 1 hour looks a little messy as well. So I'm gonna wait. This one is, I don't know what happened here, but let me see what happened. Let me clear everything. It's just going sideways. It really is just going sideways. It's tough right here. And really I could do it like this and I don't really see a play from it. So I'm just gonna watch what it does. GJ, you're looking weird. AJ is something that I was interested in at more like last week. Now that it's here, I'm not very interested. Not at all. So this is not a trade, and it just looks too sideways to trade. They all do. So the yen need to do something. All right, y'all, I'm getting off. I appreciate y'all for coming on. If y'all have any more questions, hit me up in the chat. Take care. Peace.